Welcome once again to Cinema Synergy down here at the lovely Brazil Craft Beer and Wine Lounge in Jamestown, New York. We are, as said before, Cinema Synergy, a bunch of folks that like to get together, drink, and talk about movies.
Holy crap, he didn't fuck it up.
He totally did. It just was subtle.
Aw, don't call him out. I was gonna give him credit.
Don't.
Alright. I was giving you credit, Trey.
We don't even give him credit for synergy.
Why is hell freezing over? Jenny's giving him credit.
Because
I'm like,
Freesburg
no, stop. Don't do nice things for Trey.
Freesburg hasn't gotten snow yet. That's why hell hasn't frozen over.
In recognition of the fact that yesterday was Friday the 13th, and it is October, we're doing another Friday the 13th.
To be fair, we can never air this on Friday the 13th.
It's true.
We can never be live.
That's
on
because
Friday.
Jason will kill us.
It's because we do it on Saturday.
And then also,
I think everybody knows that. I don't think you needed to be supposed to
Apparently
put
Greg
credit.
did.
Why didn't we watch Saturday the 14th?
Is that a movie?
Yeah, it's a.
Is it really?
Yeah. You guys ever seen Saturday
I
the
have
14th?
not.
Of course not.
How about you sell us on Saturday
It's a-
the 14th?
it's a fucking
Please,
parody.
sell us
wait,
on
one
this.
second. I'm looking this up to make sure he's just not just talking
I'm
about
not
his
just
ass.
fucking.
I'm sure he's
Saturday
not.
the
I don't-
14th.
Saturday the
There's even a
14th.
is if somebody were to bring up
I trust Jordan not to fuck with us on movies.
There's even
Holy
a sequel.
shit,
Yeah.
1981.
Is it Sunday the 15th?
Please tell
or
me-
is it
tell me
Saturday
about
the
this
14th?
movie.
It's a farce / horror.
It's Saturday the 14th too.
Of course it's a farce.
Yeah.
Is it a porn parody?
No.
No, it's 1981. That wasn't a thing yet.
I just wanted to check.
1989 is when that started being a thing.
Yeah, it'd be like Friday the Porn-teenth or something. It was
Okay,
It
fucking
sounds to
porn
me
parody.
as if I'm an expert.
Things
You
tonight.
are.
Things
Harassing.
tonight that did not surprise me that Greg knew when porn parodies started to be a thing off the top of his head. That doesn't
Penetrator,
surprise me.
1989.
Please stop.
Because what about
Please
that
stop.
weird MASH porn parody? That was like the
Please
70s.
stop.
That was like 79.
What was it called?
I don't remember. Smash, maybe.
You're getting into the era of Debbie Does Dallas and Deep Throat. That does not
That's true.
count.
That's art porn. That doesn't count. That's
Please
Like,
stop.
actual parodies that just happen to have fucking.
Please
Anyway,
stop.
that's not what tonight's episode is about. We are talking
the
about
Devil and Miss Jones.
Oddly
Nice.
enough,
That's a good one.
Friday the
16.
Friday
Saw
the
that
13th,
nice
part
one.
6, Jason Lives, the only one in the series with no nudity, so we're way off base here.
Is there none or just a little?
There was
None.
None.
Zero.
Is literally the only one in the series
The
with
people having sex are wearing all their clothes.
That's awkward.
Yeah, it was like the least sexy sex
That's-
scene of all time.
that's cheap.
I remember writing this down.
I can understand if they were having a quickie, but they were going for a full 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
For
so
movie
and they
sex.
were already going.
I don't
yeah.
think I've ever seen sex. I think it's one of the ones
I can almost recite.
You've
10
never
word
seen
for
sex?
word.
Did you not go through sex ed?
Six, you bastard.
I'm sure Jenny's seen.
I was born out of wedlock, so you're not wrong. However, they
Let's get the rest of the technical crap out of the way. 1986, Tom Matthews is Tommy, Jennifer Sedgwick gets the next main billing for Sissy, I think, and then CJ Graham was Jason. What's that?
We're talking about six
Jason
specifically?
Lives, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I thought we were
we're
talking-
comparing and contrasting to, I think, Jason X.
We're going to
6
compare
and
and
10.
contrast 6 to 10 because, to be 100% honest, there's really not enough in any of these movies to drag a full episode out of.
Oh,
I
God,
don't know,
no.
two. I like two a lot.
I think
Two
you
is-
could. I think.
But I
you-
mean, there's just not enough substance in a slasher flick. In a
No.
single slasher flick, except maybe, like, the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
the
Or
original
Scream.
Halloween.
Elm Street
Maybe
2.
the original Halloween.
Elm
of hands,
Street 2 is.
Who roots for Jason?
Depends on the
everyone
film.
here does.
Depends on the film. Original stuff, once you get past like 2, oh fuck yeah, I'm rooting for Jason.
It's all a morality play.
Reboot, I don't.
Well, Jason's
that's
just a
because
psychopath
But
now.
that's because of the way the reset works, and I know that's the way that is. Very rarely in the first slasher film do you find yourself sympathizing and rooting for the murderer. But so like since they went back to the roots with the reboot, I don't root for him in the reboot. So it depends on the movie.
Yeah.
You only don't root for him in the reboot because the movie.
Wrong. No. No.
Also, he's
Sam
just-
Winchester, whose name is escaping.
Oh,
Jared
yeah.
Padalecki, and he does.
Fucking reboots.
And he is brutal as all hell in a
slasher
reboot.
movie reboots and people
They're not necessarily.
and people from Supernatural are like they go hand in hand. Because
Those movies were released a month apart.
Really?
Yes. They were a month apart, and it was very clearly supposed to be My
Friday
Bloody
the 13th
Valentine.
reboot actually has held up quite well over time.
It actually
and
has. I watched
really
it
wasn't
today.
that bad.
Yeah. I
When
mean,
you
he was
actually
really
look
brutal.
at
It followed the spirit of the series.
And also, when I was rewatching Friday the 13th Part 4 yesterday on this holiest of holy horror days,
Right.
I
I really like Part 4.
Jason totally runs in Part 4.
Yeah.
Does
in
he?
several spots.
Part
he
2 and
runs.
4.
I need
He
to
does.
I need to go watch it again. 'cause
He
I do not
absolutely
remember.
runs after.
Do you
people.
happen to remember them offhand?
What, when he runs?
Yeah, what scenes?
Near the end when he's fighting Trish in Part 4. He runs after her. Trish is Tommy's sister.
Right,
And when they're having like their kind of extended duel throughout the house,
Yeah.
like there's parts where it's kind of like which way are you going? And she goes this way, and like he runs after her. He
Part of
runs
it's
in
also
the original
they
movies.
hadn't completely established stuff yet.
Well, that was one of the big complaints about the reboot was that he runs.
Yeah.
He runs in the original movies,
Yeah.
so the argument's null and void.
He definitely runs in Part 2. There's that fucking
Yeah.
album.
Well, here's my
Yeah.
theory.
It's like after 6, he doesn't run anymore because now he's a supernatural force.
Right.
6 is
He's
his
after-
resurrection.
6 is the resurrection. Let's talk about 6, shall we?
Yeah.
6 is the first movie in the second half of the franchise, more or less.
End of a trilogy.
It's the end of one trilogy because 4, 5, and 6 make up a trilogy, and then 6 kind of spearheads the franchise forward into let's just make a movie about a dude in hockey mask killing teenagers and make it fun instead of trying to make it scary. Because the original movies were about still trying to kind of creep you out a little bit.
The original
70s slashers
three.
versus
Well, the
80s.
original 2 are very
Right.
like 70s slasher films.
Yeah,
like you were
absolutely.
saying.
They're very
Yeah.
Halloween-esque,
Yeah.
very
Well, like-
Mike Myers reminiscent, very you should be afraid of the killer.
I'd
Could
go-
be around the corner.
I'd go so far as to say like Town That Dreaded Sundown or like Driller Killer or New York
Driller
Ripper.
Killer.
Yeah,
Driller
He just
Killer
listed-
sounds like one of Greg's movies.
He just listed a whole bunch of things that I don't know what they are. So.
They are excellent pieces of cinema that you should go invest some time in.
I don't know.
Y'all know that I don't watch
Killer to see
horror
if there's a
films.
parody.
There might be.
Driller.
Driller Thriller.
Thriller.
And no, Deep Driller does not count.
Why is he naming porn films again?
I'm just making them up to mess with you.
Lord.
So yeah, getting back into the technical stuff, this was a big movie. They threw all of the money at it. They even have like songs on the soundtrack by Alice Cooper. He wrote a brand new song for the ending credits.
An awesome song.
Yeah,
He
Man
did.
of the Mask.
Yeah.
Man of the Mask is he's back. Man of the Mask. But yeah, fantastic thing there. Plus, they did have another score by Harry Manafin, who got scores for the previous film anyway. There's not much else to be said about this one beyond the fact that it's painfully self-aware and everywhere you turn around is an homage or an Easter egg. All of the main characters are named after horror actors and actresses or characters from other slasher
To be
flicks.
fair, though, they have the most generic names ever.
It's true. It's very true.
Who, the characters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People learn the names of characters in Friday the 13th.
I
Tommy's an exception.
Yeah, Jason.
learned
Jason's also an exception.
Pamela Voorhees.
Right?
Also an exception.
I learned some of them, and some of them get nicknames.
Dr. Loomis, wait, that's Halloween.
Because I'll be
Named
honest
after
with you,
Howard
in the reboot, I was just calling everybody the three main characters, I guess. In the reboot, I just refer to them by the characters: Sam Winchester, Grace Van Pelt from The Mentalist, and the Frost chick from The Flash.
That's a lot more effort than I do. I generally refer to them by estimated time of death. Like, you're going to die first, you're going to die next.
Alright, so you mentioned everything in 6 being kind of like an inside joke about the fact that
Yeah, it's a very self-aware film.
It is.
I mean, there's a section where these two people are in a car and they stop in the middle of the woods. And, what's the problem? Well, we need to turn around. Why?
I've seen enough horror movies to know that a man in a mask in the woods
Yeah.
is a bad time.
Yeah.
Alright, I don't think so. A lot of people on the internet go out saying that this movie is like a parody of itself and its franchise. I don't think
I don't know about that.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
the case. I don't even think necessarily that it's self-aware. I get the feeling that this is like the writers, the producer, and the director pretty much resigning to their fate
That makes sense.
We're doing a Jason movie.
guy coming out.
Kind of like a, oh god, this is the future.
No,
This is dead teenager movies.
This is what we're doing now.
This is where we're going.
Nope, this was some new guys coming on going, we love Jason, we want to do this right.
This includes the line when the caretaker, when the gravekeeper, looks up at the camera and goes, some people have a sixth sense of entertainment.
Right.
That is definitely commentary on the fact that people wanted Jason to come back and kill teenagers.
The James Bond intro.
James
Bond
Bond.
intro.
Well, and then I guess it's worth mentioning
Bond,
the fact
Jason Bond,
that
Crystal Lake.
Jason dies in 4.
Yes.
Yes.
5 has someone.
Different.
Roy Burns.
Yeah, has a guy taking a copycat Jason. So I guess that is. So there is a lot of that. Okay, we want to get Jason back. Like tying back to the. Thinking about like the comparison to like the Halloween movies where nobody wanted the Halloween anthology with the Season of the Witch. They just
Oh, I
wanted
totally
Michael
wanted
Myers.
that. God
So
damn
it's
it.
kind of the it's kind of the same idea.
Yeah, I still say that would have worked if they would have used that as Halloween 2 instead of Halloween 3.
I think you're right. I think it would have been better.
If they wouldn't
Makes
have
sense.
dragged out Michael Myers for 2 movies instead of 1,
Right.
that probably would have worked.
We have a comment from a Marty Howell.
Marty
What?
Howell. Who the hell is that?
Hi, Marty.
Hi,
Nice to
hello.
Who the hell?
What do you got to say, Marty?
What? That's
Just yeah.
But continue about Friday the 13th Part
I
6.
don't know, my train of thought was derailed by the fact that we had a new viewer.
I know, what the fuck? That's awesome.
Uh,
He's not the guy who gets mad when I say fuck, is he?
Actually,
No.
from everything
Okay.
from everything I've read, all of the self-awareness in this film is there intentionally because they wanted to do an homage to all these other slasher flicks. Like the girl who's got the red tiny T-shirt with the midriff showing the whole time with the suspenders on the sweatpants.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
The chick that looks like she should be from Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
Her
It's like
name-
half of them.
It's
The
Right,
character's
that's all
name
of
is
them.
actually Sissy Baker, which is a 2-part thing. Sissy is named after the girl who played
Carrie.
Carrie.
Sissy Spacek.
And
then
Baker's an homage to Angela Baker from
I know what she's
Sleepaway.
here on
Right.
purpose.
Like they say, the next town over is Carpenter. John Carpenter.
Right.
Yeah, like everything,
That's awesome.
everything in this film is like a little secret. Oh, look at our horror
Yeah,
movie
it's what it's here on
credentials.
But
We
they
love
don't-
this.
Fan wang.
It's pretty cool though that they don't wear it on their head like fucking what is Night of the Creeps where like there's a guy named Cronenberg and there's a guy named fucking there's like they just name all the main characters after horror directors that they were excited about. Like
What?
Woohoo, what?
Alright, I want to add the opening sequence to 6 is just awesome.
yeah.
When Jason pops out of the crypt, he gets out of the coffin, like he's there.
I-
And he's awesome. And
When
like
he stares at Tommy, just
just
stares
gives
at
him
him.
the glare. They can do nothing. Tommy tries to light him on fire and the rain drops.
Right.
And it's like, you know you are in for a world of suck.
It's
Right.
also
Because
at that
Jason
point.
is here, he's on the scene. He punches that dude in the chest and rips his heart out, Terminator style.
Throws him in his own grave.
And then like the casket shuts. Like there's the lightning, he gets the mask back. Like it's 100%. This is why you should be afraid of Jason.
And also, it's 100% placing it on Tommy. Had he just lit Jason's body on fire, had he taken
Had
that
he
piece,
not dug up the
Talk
grave?
about- had he gone and taken that piece of post and just beaten the corpse with it and then thrown it, Jason would have never come back. But no,
He got
you
struck
had-
by lightning
Yeah.
twice.
because you had to be an idiot. The killer is back.
Realistically, you can place every kill after that in the entire franchise
Including
on
X.
Tommy's
Tommy.
shoulders.
Tommy's
That's what
Tommy's
I'm
fault.
saying. Tommy's
Yeah.
fault.
You should listen to your friend, motherfucker. That's all that
You should have just gone back to the insane asylum.
is. Right.
The halfway house. There's a
Yeah.
halfway house in 5.
Everyone's got notes here, so
I know.
you guys.
I have the RV sex scene.
Right.
It was the worst sex scene in
Who
all of
wears
horror
their
movies.
clothes when
How long is the
And
sun
for 10
for?
minutes.
10 minutes.
Like the way they're both arcing their backs, the way like just everything about it, nothing about it is attractive.
Had sex?
That was a hot girl.
What's
though.
actually
It's a hot
interesting
girl,
is
and yet
the following scene was the last scene they shot in the movie for the RV flipping. because they only had one Winnebago to do this with.
Better get it right.
And you get it right the first time.
And the one thing that makes that even better is like when the RV just wrecks and Jason just pops out of it and just stands up there all menacingly.
Well, it's on
It's something
fire.
that actually Trav and I brought up while we were watching it earlier today. It's like when Jason stabs the driver in the head, he's just kind of staring as they're going towards that embankment to flip it. It's like, you have to remember, Jason has a developmental disability. And Trav's response was, no, he is a savant. His skill is at killing people.
He's like the Rain Man.
He does
killing
not
people.
understand causality. Like, my actions have consequence unless it involves murdering someone.
Jason understands his actions have consequence. If that consequence is death.
The following scene where he cuts the power cable, he understands if I cut the phone lines, you can't call for help. However, if I kill the guy driving this car, I don't know.
To be fair, he's a zombie monster and probably doesn't care.
Yes.
Speaking of calling for backup, because that's what you were gonna say, I have a weird anger moment out of this movie when the one officer's on his radio talking to the sheriff on the phone. Because that's not how radios work. If you're gonna be on the radio, you're talking to someone on a radio.
This script is clearly written by somebody who has no idea how police procedure works, period.
It's like, yeah, you don't just release the guy that is proving himself to be a public menace.
He's a
Right.
public menace, let's just chase him out of town.
Everything that involved the police in this movie, which was a lot because the sheriff was one of the main characters, just made me scream internally.
And you know what the best part is? He died not actually knowing if that was Tommy or not. Because he just assumed it the whole time.
He gets
and then he got
folded in
folded
half.
in half.
Makes Sheriff Origami out of him.
Delightful little
If it was
hand.
really Sheriff Origami, he would have made a stop.
But Jason is a savant. His skill
made a
is
pig.
killing people and setting up people to be killed. Anything outside that mindset, he does not understand.
That makes sense. He's like murder Rain Man. He's like
Murder ring.
He has to watch Judge Wapner and murder people.
I gotta be home in time for Wapner.
Jason doesn't.
Oh, just like that would be Jason out.
There's three naked teenagers in the lake. Three naked teenagers.
That counselor, he had 3 cigarettes while he was supposed to be watching the students. He has to die.
Dead.
This was an interesting movie. This is one of the few ones where there's multiple people playing Jason in the movie.
2 different actors.
2 different actors. The first one, I have a note here.
Was the paintball scene they shot
Paintball scene was
first.
the very first thing they showed us as test footage to show to the studio. And the studio's like, it's great, except you gotta change the guy playing Jason because that guy's too fat. Jason shouldn't be that fat.
To be fair, he's been dead for a while.
Yeah, well,
I mean, just be less fat.
yeah.
Blow though.
They got a Marine
I
to
can't think
play
of his name.
Jason.
So they turned around and hired this Marine, CJ Graham. So now he's Jason the Jarhead.
Jarhead Jason.
Jarhead Jason. Yeah.
Which is actually noticeably taller and leaner.
He's taller and leaner. He's got that just big menacing presence because they just have him stand at attention most of the time. But he also did his own stunts, so that was kind of impressive.
And he's
rolling
also,
around.
which means at some point they just ordered him to stand on a burning Winnebago, and he did it.
I'd do it.
Well, also things like when he got shot to make the shooting more realistic, they had him wired up from behind and they would just jerk him where the bullet was supposed to hit him to get that motion and all that. And so he did all that kind of stuff as well. And also the stunts like with the when they're doing underwater combat and when they have the boat engine coming through, that's actually the dude.
Nice.
So props that it was his first Hollywood thing. Huh?
So the paintball stuff. I was thinking about this at work today, and it feels like for that like 10 minutes of the movie, like Jason just kind of wandered into like some like weird 80s fuck around sex comedy about like a corporate retreat like
I
to a
expected to
paintball
be
camp
an
in the woods.
outtake of The Office.
Right? Like in these
Jason
people
Voorhees' ass just wanders in,
Right.
changes your genre.
like somewhere in the woods.
Now I'm
like-
picturing like Jason like during a cutaway interview part, like he couldn't still know he's sitting there in the office.
Staring at the camera silently.
Holds up his machete.
No machete, just
Just stares.
Just stares.
And then we cut back to the counter.
That would actually make it better.
It kind of would be awesome. But like, I was just picturing like somewhere else in these woods. There's like Bill Murray and rich people falling into a pool.
There's a woodchuck somewhere.
Right? There's a woodchuck. The woodchuck is there. You know, it's just a weird scene. And, like it only serves to get him his machete because that one guy has machete.
Well, he has
Also,
a little
it's such
machete in the middle of a paintball match because he's that dude.
Right?
It's also
Yeah,
He
but we
brings
call
like
that
a fucking machete and a knife.
it sets up his clothing for the rest of the series because he's wearing the same clothes from that point on.
No,
Right.
The button-down shirt and then the slacks
And the guardian gloves.
and the gloves and the belt. And also the machete part of it. He's wearing that guy's clothes after he killed him.
It's that guy's paintball gear or whatever.
Basically.
It's awesome.
Well, Jason's got to get some new threads. His threads are
It's
long.
not the first time he's killed people for clothes. He did that in number 2 or 3.
One of the thoughts that caught my attention, I don't know if this would be interesting to anybody else, but apparently the director, when he was doing this, he'd just seen Terminator, and he's like, that's what Jason should be. It's just Schwarzenegger's Terminator, this unstoppable killing machine.
I mean, that is what Jason becomes known as.
Yep.
Yeah,
To the point where, I
This
mean,
was
like,
kinda
I
my
was making
point.
jokes in the middle of, what's that, 5-man dungeon and Wrath of the Lich King, where the Lich King's just fucking walking behind you. I'm just making jokes all the
Halls
time
of
about
Reflection.
Yeah,
it's
Halls
just
of
fucking the
He
Lich
just
King.
he walks.
The Lich King
Yeah.
just channels Jason the whole fucking time. You turn around, he's standing there. You run away, he's standing there.
Just keep moving. Why? Because he's still walking.
It's fucking Jason. I mean, that's
Lich King Jason.
Pretend to be his mom. That'll freak him out.
Or piss him off and make him want to kill you.
Right.
Specifically you.
Depends on which version you're going with.
Do we want to keep talking about 6 or should we
Any
move
more
on?
thoughts on 6?
I love 6. It's probably one of my favorites.
The
It's not
soundtrack
It
was
does,
awesome.
it does
The
mark
soundtrack
the
was
beginning of the box office decline of the franchise.
I think that's more Manhattan.
No, this is literally the first Jason film
For
that
box office. That's not
it's the first Jason film that didn't open as #1 opening weekend.
What was it going up against, though?
I don't really know at the time what was that, but
I mean, if you're
But also-
fighting Joe versus the volcano, okay, there's a problem here.
Right.
I mean, I don't dislike it. It's not my favorite.
yeah, but
Like as an artistic achievement, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty well shot. You know.
It's got a lot of like iconic
It established
shots.
a lot of the things about Jason as a character, like
fact that
guns
he's a
just
zombie.
don't work on him
Right,
at
there's
all.
zombie overall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It set him up with his superhuman strength where he can just pull the man in half without any issue.
sort of an average thing for kill count. He has a body count of 18 in this one. Although he does kind of
Some
kill,
break down
it set him up for
kill
killing
count.
indiscriminately. It's the first time where he's not
Jason
killing
actually tried to
only
judge
things and
both
counselors that are directly related to Crystal Lake.
Or a threat to him.
Or a direct threat to him.
As I pointed out when we were talking before we came here, the paintballers had guns, which technically he could see as a threat. He is developmentally disabled. Also, they were in his path to Crystal Lake.
So they're an obstacle.
Collateral damage.
Also, Jason generally views it, if you're defending my target, you just became a valid threat for me to kill.
Makes sense.
I did take an issue, and this is more me being like a super geek kind of thing. Unlike the rest of these movies, which were shot up in New England, this one was shot in Georgia. So
Cicadas.
yeah, like the background flora is wrong.
Manhattan was shot in Vancouver. Manhattan was shot in Vancouver.
Of
course.
I thought Manhattan was shot on a boat.
Motherfucker! like the camp scenes, the forest scenes were shot at this Boy Scout camp down in Georgia, and it looks like a Georgia forest, like just with the undergrowth and everything. It doesn't look like something that's going to be in New Jersey, just north of the Pine Barrens, which is where Crystal Lake is supposed to be.
This is
'Cause
like
we
that
had that
episode
argument.
of The X-Files that they shot in Ellicott, New York. And it had Spanish moss hanging off the trees.
Yeah.
And no, that's definitely wrong.
Or like how part of Marvel Comics had something occur in Stockton, New York. and it's like,
That was Civil War.
Yeah, I know.
War in the cornfield.
Lands in a cornfield. There's no cornfields in Stockton.
they took out a school. There's no school in Stockton.
No, they didn't. The school wasn't billed as in Stockton. The school was billed several states over. He traveled.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
skipped.
far.
He skipped. I guess would be the best way to say that. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of the visuals in the back are like, and that is a southern forest, not a northern.
You can hear this.
What's your biggest
It
complaint
is.
about the movie? The plants.
Right. I honestly didn't care.
But it turns out, neither did I.
I had to watch Jason
it
Burke
also-
people.
But it's
It was a
fun.
fun movie.
It had a very clean, crisp focus to this, and this is just an aesthetic thing. It's a personal thing. I like my slasher films to look old and grainy. Like you just dug an old Betamax out of the back of the closet.
Right.
But
Well,
you hate
yeah.
found footage movies.
I agree with
I
that.
really do.
We can't win, no matter what.
He's consistent to that level where you just can't win.
It's
consistent.
Just found
Maybe
footage movies
throw
are always
something
like
in the head.
shaky cameras and shitty cell phone footage. It's a different animal.
There's a difference between a found footage
Yeah.
movie and a nasty 70s slasher
Yeah.
movie. Like-
So, are we ready to move on to the first horror movie I ever watched?
Really?
Jason
That's
X.
your fault,
Are
too!
you serious?
You
Oh.
say that like I didn't.
Wait.
show you that.
Are we going to count Rocky Horror as a horror movie? then?
Absolutely
No.
not. That is not
Okay.
a
It's
horror
a
movie.
comedy with horror elements.
First horror movie I ever watched in the apartment in Fredonia, his fault.
Fault. Like there's a
His
negative
blessing.
connotation.
Here's the thing,
You
you
should probably
introduced
take the
me
blame
to
for this.
the horror franchise with Jason X.
It obviously scarred you.
It can only get better from there.
Yeah.
I
can only
disagree.
go up
There are
from
I have definitely, because of him, watched worse horror movies than Jason X.
Name one.
Dracula 3.
Weenie Roast Massacre.
I agree with Nick. Dracula 3000.
Feast was a decent movie.
The first
Feast made
Feast
me
is awesome.
physically ill.
Yeah,
Troll.
it's good.
Physically
Troll 2.
Fair enough. Feast 2 made me physically ill.
Ankle biters.
I almost threw up.
Leprechauns in the Hood.
Never seen it. Let's keep going.
Don't watch it.
Leprechaun in the Hood is actually very watchable. It's a very good reboot of a horror series.
Oh no.
You have seen plenty of.
You
great
have
horror movies
Warwick
because-
Davis
I've also seen
rapping.
plenty
I
of
know, but it's still better than Leprechaun in space.
So, Jason X takes place in the future and then the far future.
In case you couldn't tell by the
Hockey, that's a
accent.
game they made illegal in 2040.
Right?
Well, that's disappointing. It must be they went
Canada
to
was
Canada.
It's a carbon filtration unit. It's a hockey match.
Obviously, they're saying in 2040 Canada will no longer exist.
Fair enough.
It's the only way you get rid of hockey. The only
Or Russia.
Jason X is your standard, not standard. This movie franchise needs to go to space because everything goes to space.
Right. Eventually.
Nightmare on Elm Street in
According to
space.
some of the bonus features and
so
stuff,
it's
there was a brainstorming session because they were gonna do another Jason film just before Freddy vs. Jason came out, just because they could. So they were sitting around, got really drunk and stoned to have a brainstorming session, and they basically started
Remember
throwing
about
out
Jason.
in blank. Was the, so it's like, okay,
Jason
Jason
in
in space, Jason in the hood,
Jason in
the-
cyberspace.
Jason in cyberspace, Jason in the snow, Jason
I would watch
in the
Jason
water.
in cyberspace.
Jason in LA fighting street gang.
Which
I
is
would
all
watch
basically Jason Takes Manhattan.
That's Predator 2. I'd watch
Yeah.
that.
Jason.
Jason in the snow, so Jason on ice with a
I would watch Jason on Ice.
Oh my god! Just an ice skating with machetes.
I have never before watched
I want to
anything
see Kane Hodder do a triple
more.
X.
Jason on Ice.
I want this more than I've ever wanted anything else.
Jason versus
Friday the 13th, 11, White Heaven and Hell.
I would take Jason on Ice over.
So they eventually turned around and settled on Jason in space
No,
because
agreed.
it had been like a parody comedy sketch of NASA launching a space probe on Friday the 13th. I can't even remember the name of the sketch right now. And just because it happened to be Friday the 13th, Jason somehow magically got on the probe and started killing astronauts. And they went, that, we can make a full movie out of that.
And they did.
And they did.
So my question is,
Unfortunately.
did this movie see your theater release?
Yeah,
Yes.
I saw it in the theater.
Really?
I wish I saw it. in
It
theaters.
actually did fairly well in
I
theaters.
wish I saw
Not
this
Kane
in
Hodder's
theaters.
best movie.
No.
Not King Hodder's.
Not
worst
Kane
movie.
Hodder's worst movie.
I remember I was in 12th grade English and I saw the commercials like let the bodies hit the floor. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
This movie is the kind of thing that
What
your
was the
friend tells you
tagline?
about. and
Evil
you're
Evil
waiting-
gets an upgrade.
It's the kind of movie that your friend tells you about, and you're waiting for them to start laughing because it's a joke.
Right.
And then
So
you
they're
look
trying to
at them
find
and you
it.
go, "Oh wait, you're serious, aren't you?"
Jason in space.
If there's anyone who somehow hasn't seen this cinematic masterpiece,
pretty good.
it starts out
Or
with Jason
abortion.
getting cryogenically frozen.
After being blown up.
He's
This
been
is the only way
captured.
No. He
He's
gets
captured.
cryogenically frozen first. And then Earth is abandoned,
Pretty much.
Destroyed.
destroyed, whatever.
Global
And
war.
Bad things happen.
a group of basically
Students.
college students
On a
show
field
up
trip
on a field
to
trip,
Earth.
show up
To Earth.
and
As you
somehow
do.
find him,
As you do.
and then
With his carbon filtration man.
defrost him. Because if you look at a man who's partially rotted,
You gotta follow him out.
Well, they thaw him out only to study him.
True.
They
Yes.
don't try to resurrect him.
And then the computer
They try to
decides-
resurrect Andromeda, or whatever her name was in this movie.
yes.
That
She
was
wasn't
something they
Andromeda.
had to
Yeah,
finish
she
filming
was.
on a deadline because 2 of the actors were going to go do Andromeda.
Like 2 of the actors in all the sets had to go back to
I love it. It's like, I found something. What'd you find? 2 people. Or, no, a box of DVDs is not a
Not
gold
a
mine.
Yeah, they try to resurrect Andromeda because she's not really hurt or anything. Like she's resurrected.
She's been stabbed.
Yeah, she's been stabbed, but they're like,
They
oh, we
fixed that.
the hippie loses his arm, and they're like, that's not a big deal.
Right.
Jason, they're like, oh no, we're not resurrecting him. He's toast. He just resurrects because it's Jason.
And also the computer decides, hey.
Not yet.
Later.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
later.
Not yet. They
Jason
start
just
ripping
wakes
his
up because he's Jason.
Yeah, they start ripping his eyeballs out and putting it into the
Yeah, like they're analyzing him because he's a freak.
stuff.
I'd analyze him too if I found him. I'd be like, oh, the hell happened to you?
Right.
Why are you wearing a hockey mask with a machete?
Well, there was this toxic waste in the sewers of Manhattan.
That never happened. Clearly, that never happened. Jason took a boat to Manhattan, turned into a baby, and then went back to killing people. At the beginning
Screamed
of the night.
mommy was killed.
Very bizarre.
Very.
So he goes on his killing spree. Is the face freezing that his first kill?
Yes.
Well, I mean, aside from the Marines in the beginning, but yes,
Yeah.
it's his first kill
In the future. The far
In the
future.
future.
In space!
Which I have seen is argued is his best kill. I disagree. I don't
It's
think
a great kill.
It
It's
is
a
great
good kill.
kill.
It's not his best.
It's not my favorite.
But he shoves the lady's face, right?
Yeah, lady.
In
After
the-
he's like grabbing her fucking boobs.
Yeah.
I'm
Which
like,
is-
Kate Hodder is just
He's
feeling her
really going
off.
crazy on those boobs.
and then puts her face in the
Liquid nitrogen.
liquid nitrogen and just smashes her face
And
like
then
a.
throws her into the
Why
side.
does she have that in a sink?
Or,
I mean, there's
where
no-
do you keep your
that
liquid
really
nitrogen?
bothered
In
me.
the sink. I'm not gonna keep it on the floor. That's for goddamn
so it can be
sure.
transferred from location to location and blown up the zombie.
We do
like
have
thing.
to agree that the safety standards in the future
Yeah.
are clearly very low.
OSHA is
It's
no
not a
longer
good
a
idea.
Right.
OSHA no longer exists for a good
It was,
reason.
it was an interesting note from the director and the writer of this film that what they were going for is they wanted to basically recreate Ridley Scott's Alien, but instead of aliens, it was Jason. That was
That's his
fail.
That
I'm
was
just
his
imagining an alien implanting a chest burster in Jason. So not only does Jason survive the ordeal, you now have a Jason alien.
I'm picturing Jason popping out of someone's
Hockey mask and all.
And then the bottom of the hockey mask opens another even tinier hockey mask.
With a machete.
He cuts his way out instead of bursting free. He cuts his way out with a machete.
I'll be honest, what I'm picturing is like the alien
And
implanting
then it walks casually.
implanting the baby alien, and then it's like waiting, and Jason's just like, and nothing. It's like nothing, and the alien's kind of like, and Jason's like,
Little little hockey mask jumps out of like a barrel and latches onto someone's face.
Honestly, the other part I'm expecting is the Predator to be sitting there watching this entire thing going, why won't that fucker die?
That would be a good hunt.
Alien versus
Alien
Predator
versus
versus
Jason.
Jason. Alien versus Predator versus Jason.
I'd
Yeah.
still rather
I'd
see
totally
Jason
do
on
that.
ice.
Agreed. I think we can all agree we'd all
Predator
agree.
versus Jason.
The real reason
Suggested that earlier.
The real reason
Jason
we
on
want to
ice
see
is
Jason on ice is we're all hockey fans in this room and we know blood bounces on ice.
Oh yeah. Then I actually lose track of what goes on. You get a lot of Jason starts murdering people.
Jason starts murdering
He
people.
smells sex. That's what wakes
Yeah,
him up.
that's
That's right.
100% is.
Sex.
Smells.
People are having sex.
I don't know how
Morality
else to describe it. That's what happens right in the thing.
It's not so much he smells it, he has a sex sense. If you're having sex, if you're doing drugs, Jason knows.
I like
knows.
smelling.
That's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, he can smell them having
He's
sex.
like Santa Claus of the kinky stuff.
He knows when you're
And he
sleeping
brings
with
death.
people.
He's
He knows when
Kinky
you're awake.
Claus
Yeah.
with a
Smoking weed.
machete.
Does he
Nature's
kill the
perfect
space
cock
station
blocker.
before or after the nanobots? Yes,
Because he kills the pilot
Yep.
Yes.
while they're getting ready to dock. And then because of that, the ship like clips the space station. The whole space station blows up.
So that's Jason's kill count up to like 4,000.
Yeah, I mean this. That
I
is
don't
what-
count it.
That if you
They
count the
generally-
space station,
They
it
generally
pushes
don't
his
count the
kill.
space station. If you don't count the space station, this movie has a kill count of 28.
But he's got a
I'm
total
not
of
gonna
over
count the space
200
station
kills.
because quite frankly we don't know how many people are in it.
Yeah.
And also, Jason generally personally kills him.
But,
It is very
At a
impersonal
kill
for
count of
Jason.
20, at a kill count of 28, that puts us as the highest kill count in the franchise.
Really?
So it's still the highest even if you don't count the space
If you
station.
don't count the space station, it's still the highest body count in the franchise.
Wow.
You know what's awesome about the DVD? It has a jump
Counting
to a
Marines.
random death feature.
It does.
That's
That's
amazing.
awesome. That is
Counting
super
all the
cool.
Marines he killed.
That's true.
My second favorite death in this is when it sucks the girl out of the hole.
Through that mesh. That
Yeah.
wire.
I guess to be fair, my favorite Jason kill is not actually a Jason kill.
Because they're holograms.
Yeah, they're not real.
Oh,
They're making the sleeping bags.
But he gets
Super cool.
That's a recurring thing, though.
He kills a chick with another chick. I
Right.
mean, how can you not love that?
it gets better if you set it to the Anvil chorus.
It does.
Yes.
Because
Oh, good. Okay, it's not the Blacksmith song, it's the Anvil's chorus.
It's the Anvil chorus.
But actually, that's a recreation of a scene from, I think, 5? Maybe?
No, it's not
4.
5.
7.
6 or 7.
It has
It's
to
not
be
6.
7
but I'll
because
watch
it's
it.
It's not 6,
I think
but
it's
it's 7.
7.
It's
Okay, it
gotta
has
be
to be
7.
7 because it was
And then the
Kane
remake
Hodder.
does it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Kane Hodder. He
No,
was on
remake
set.
does
Remake does not do it.
The remake roasts the lady over the
I saw a
fire.
bunch of stuff that said that they did include it in the remake because
They did not.
There's a chick who dies in a
He
sleeping
didn't,
bag.
I literally watched it
he
today.
didn't use the sleeping bag, but he grabbed someone and just
And
nailed
hits
them
him
against a
against
tree.
Nice.
And it's like the sleeping bag.
But anyhow, that has its origins in the fact that there was this scene that they were shooting over and over and over again, and Kane Hodder was getting super frustrated because, they couldn't get it right. So he just ad-libs the sleeping bag scene.
Good, congratulations, Kane.
And they just
That's
filmed
some
it.
Good times.
They kept
To
it
be fair,
because it
Kane
worked.
Hodder is like the definitive Jason.
Yes.
He was in
And-
Jason in 4 movies.
I mean, there's like 5 people who played Jason, and he's played Jason in like 50% of the appearances.
And 2 of them were in 1 movie.
True.
Jason gets blown up.
Jason gets messed up by the android. Not
Yes.
the
Who wants nipples?
Yeah.
The android who wants
reason.
nipples can't.
Why not? Who doesn't?
Who doesn't want nipples?
Right.
Nipple droid.
So she makes out with a guy to unlock her killer potential. Whatever.
Because that makes sense. to
It
me.
raises the potential of survivability.
Yes, it does.
By 53%.
So she gets her guns and her bondage gear, and she goes to town on Jason. She blows his leg off. She blows his arm off.
That's just had a completely different mentality.
Bang, 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 bang. She messes him up, and they leave him for dead in the med bay where the nanobots repair things.
As I yell at the screen, shoot him out the airlock, shoot him out the fucking airlock.
But we don't do that. We leave him in the med bay with the nanobots, and the nanobots who decide to fix things as their programming dictates.
With alternate material because there's not enough there.
Right, so they turn him into Uber Jason.
Right.
That's his actual
It's the
name.
actual name for him.
Cyborg Jason.
Uber Jason.
And the whole, it's basically what the whole movie's leading up
They
to.
even make him a new hockey mask.
They make it like a
Out of
metal titanium
Yeah.
hockey mask.
He's got
super
blood
machete.
red. He's got both his eyes again, and he is.
Now he's really dangerous. He has 2 eyes, he has depth perception.
He also might have the ability to plan now.
Glowing red Terminator eyes. No, he does not.
So he punches the android's head off in like one go, just like she was the boxer from Jason Takes a Boat. And off goes the head, and he becomes
Rocket Cycle
bulletproof
robots.
and just super powerful, and kills all the people with all the things all the time. Since the Uber Jason.
I think my favorite kill of this movie is when he drops the fucking person on the
spike?
drill,
The drill bit.
and they like
He's screwed.
yeah, he's
That's
screwed.
what I love about this
I
film.
knew
This is
that
why
was
this
your
is
favorite part.
One of my favorite. This is one of my favorite Jason
The word
films
what?
because it is full of wordplay and puns and stuff like.
Of
this.
course,
It
God.
absolutely is from beginning to end. The whole thing is just full of puns.
You got a BFG,
Jason's
it would be.
monologue. Well, he's screwed.
The dialogue is actually really good in this, though. Like, it's
It's
funny.
very
Like, there's these like little like kind of like sly moments, like in the beginning, when they pick up the Jason and that girl. I don't know what's her name.
I don't know.
It's Alexia
Andromeda.
Joy, isn't it?
The girl.
Andromeda.
Whatever. The girl
Let's just
who's
call her
frozen.
Andromeda.
When they pick her up and they're like, "Ooh, yeah, it's a female," and they're
And
like,
she's single.
yeah, and then he's like going on about like his like weird horny pilot stuff.
The pilot
and then
wants
he's
to
like,
bang her
"Oh, I'm
sister."
so lonely."
Shut up, Joker.
And then,
No one cares, Joker.
When the military guy, I don't know any of the characters.
Sergeant Blackman.
It's
Okay,
really
Sergeant
Sergeant Blackman. Yeah.
He
When
was a
he's-
sergeant.
He gets
And he
stabbed
was
the first
black.
time, and he says it takes more than one poke in the ribs to take down an old dog like me. So he stabs him. and goes,
Oh, that'll do it."
That'll do it. So I really like appreciated those moments in the dialogue. Like, kind of like were like a bit self-aware. Like this.
This
is
movie's
ridiculous.
self-aware
This is the
all
10th
the right
movie
way.
in the
Yes.
franchise. So.
Well, I mean, the
Oh,
whole
that didn't kill
holodeck
you?
scene
Okay,
is
I'll kill you
literally.
again, yeah.
Yeah.
This is what's gonna trap Jason. It is so self-aware. Like that is like this is what every movie is basically bad. Because the holodeck characters are like, oh, we're gonna do drugs and have premarital sex. And we love premarital sex. Like they're so aware of themselves.
Well, that actually goes back to the director. He didn't want to include the holodeck sequence. He thought it was gratuitous nudity for nudity's sake, and he didn't want to film it. The casting director refused to cast it. They actually had to outsource that to one of her assistants, and said, "Okay, fine." The studio mandated that he include it. And he's like, "The only way we're gonna do this is if we make it the silliest, most ridiculous part of the whole movie."
And it is, but it's in a movie that's so self-aware. It's sort of the thesis statement of its
Yeah.
self-awareness, which I think is I think that's good. It's just that they're like this is we are aware of our own ridiculousness, and here's how we are aware of our own ridiculousness.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
What came first? Was it Event Horizon or this movie?
Horizon.
Because they totally stole the blowing up the ship,
Yeah.
like the
All you've
one
done
section
is
of the
just
ship to get
jettison
away.
Jason into space.
Yes, but
Like
to
you
be
know-
The right
fair,
planet.
Where he just kills some more.
so you got
Here's the
Jason
Mars.
Voorhees and the Chaos Gods have to be dealt with in the same manner.
He's kind of a chaos god.
Luck
Not
of the
gonna
luck
lie.
up.
Jason
totally
falls
champion.
on a Cornite planet. No one's sure if this is a good thing.
He'd be an avatar of porn pretty fast.
Only if Korn can have power over, because he's just gonna murder everyone in his sight.
Works for porn.
The brand new Children of Corn.
Ah, I forget that series exists for a reason.
Ugh.
First one's alright.
First one's pretty good. After that, strictly avoidable.
Children of the Corn.
So how you
season
did in
three.
CNX? What did you think of that?
I liked it.
Did you?
I liked it a hell of a lot more than Manhattan, which I hated.
I don't like Manhattan either.
Am I the only person who likes Manhattan?
You are
Manhattan.
you are the
Thank
only
God.
person who likes Jason Takes the Boat to Manhattan.
Manhattan's kind of fun.
I mean,
I like Jason Takes the Boat to Manhattan. I have a soft spot for it.
Take your best shot. Boom!
My happiest moment in Jason Takes Manhattan is when he kills that girl with her own stupid guitar. I just that character drove me freaking crazy.
Well, like,
The
but
thing
in
about
Jason Takes Manhattan, how would you know he's a film student if he doesn't always have his camera on his shoulder every
Yeah, boy.
second of every day?
Right?
The thing about Jason Takes a Boat to Manhattan is it doesn't feel like a Friday the 13th movie. It feels like a trauma movie. Right
Yes!
down, right down to the toxic
Yeah.
waste of the sewer at 8
It
o'clock
does
every
feel like
Thursday.
a trauma movie.
It really does.
It really
like
does.
Lloyd Kaufman's fingerprints are all over this movie.
But where is Sergeant Kabuki Man?
Avoiding this film for a better franchise.
Unavailable.
Adria likes Manhattan.
I know, Adria. I know.
That was actually the second movie that
He
I
likes
watched
it too,
was
That was
Jason.
the first one I watched.
I couldn't get into it.
I think so.
I don't think it's a good one. I
It's
don't
a
like
movie
it.
for connoisseurs of Jason movies.
First one I watched.
It's a movie for completionists.
Actually, the scary one. Franchise.
Yes. 2 is pretty scary.
Yeah.
2, he kills a guy in a wheelchair and throws him
Yeah.
downstairs.
He gives
As
zero
you
bucks.
do. Don't be jealous.
I would.
Is there anyone out there who doesn't know the plot twist to 1?
Probably not.
Alright, good.
The franchise is 30 plus years old, I'm pretty sure.
If you
We're
don't
beyond
know,
the
spoiler
spoilers.
warning.
Yeah, no, I just-
spoiler warning.
I just didn't know if like there's anyone who's going. Well,
It's not really a plot twist. In 1, it was just, well, who's killing these people?
Yeah, well, I mean, no, but if you come into the franchise backwards, it's a massive fucking plot twist.
I'm Mrs.
No,
Voorhees.
because if you go into the series backwards, you're going to go with Jason versus Freddy, in which case you're going to find out first.
Not literally backwards.
Just means if like most people, you start after the hockey mask machete part.
Yeah, if you
Oh,
start
okay.
if you start with that point with it's Jason Voorhees is the killer. The fact that he's not even in 1.
I mean, technically he's in 1.
For a
Yeah.
cutscene.
Adria thinks
Yeah,
the
it's a
roof
stinger.
fight in Manhattan is the best.
The boxing match where he
Yes.
keeps punching him in the face
Take
in the
your best
hockey
shot.
mask.
Yeah, why would you shoot? First off, why would you punch a man in the hockey mask? They're literally designed to take shots to the face.
Yeah, like go for some body.
Like it's a fucking goalie mask. They shoot pucks at those.
Yeah.
Dude, your fist is not gonna
The guy's
be
a
able to reach-
boxer. What's he know about hockey?
Your fist is not going to be able to reach frozen.
Although I
pucks.
wouldn't put it past Floyd Mayweather to box a hockey player.
At this point,
Mayweather box whoever
okay,
for money.
I'm sorry. I'd pay to watch Floyd Mayweather box a hockey player because that hockey player is gonna take his gloves off and then beat the shit out of him.
No,
You
he's
know,
not.
that's
Oh,
that's
fair
what they said about.
Who am I
McGregor.
thinking of?
Conor McGregor.
Who am I thinking? I'm thinking of somebody else though. Never mind.
Yeah, the hockey player, I think, would just go to grapple him, chink up, and then drop him to the ground and just punch him in the face from the
And
end
then
of
the
it.
I think
ref
if
would
you-
intervene, and Floyd would win on a technicality.
Fair
God.
enough. Did we want to
Man, it's
briefly
really
run across
nice.
any of the other ones?
Because he only fights fights he can win.
I mean, what is everyone's? Since we are talking, what is everyone's opinion of the reboot?
It's not
I
bad.
was okay with it.
Didn't care for it.
I liked it.
I like it, and not
alright.
just for the reason that Ryan accuses me of liking it. So.
I like it. Jason is brutal as all hell in it.
I liked the thing that I liked about the reboot is that, and I'm assuming some people hate it for the same reason, is they'd explain how the fuck that bastard just keeps popping up behind people.
Because he knows the entire location.
Because he's
he
got
has
tunnels,
sneaker
he's got traps, he's got early warning systems. I liked that.
The reboot
I hate
definitely-
the ending.
The reboot
I
definitely
hate the
brings
ending, too.
back the concept that Jason is just a dude killing people, which is what 2 and 3 were kind of about. He was
Yeah.
just a guy. He was mortal.
Yeah.
More or less in 2 and 3. He was deformed mortal, but he was mortal.
He could get fucked up. He'd take a
Right,
down.
like
but he
in,
was-
in the reboot, you see him like hiding bodies. You see him like moving through areas. You see him turn on some lights to look for people.
doing opportunity kills.
Right, like he behaves like a guy killing people, not a supernatural force, which is kind of a throwback to the original premise of the movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is the reboot is kind of like a 1, 2, and 3 reboot.
I mean, the plot of one is literally the opening credits.
This
Exactly.
is one of the few movies I haven't seen, so.
You haven't seen the reboot?
The
Yeah, I haven't
reboot
seen
doesn't
it.
even start
Well, I
with the
stay
mask.
away from reboots. You know.
You should watch this one. It's pretty
No, it's
good.
actually
He
it's
does
not
not
bad.
start with the mask at all.
He's
He
got the
He
bag.
has the
He
barrel
has the bag in the
Nice.
beginning. He gets the mask.
Not
He picks up the
nearly as
machete.
cringeworthy and terrible as the Nightmare reboot.
Maybe
No,
I'll check it
no,
out.
you definitely should.
Does it have that blue filter over everything?
Yes.
It's scary.
I don't know because I don't really.
He doesn't notice these things.
Notice
It's
those
there.
things.
Right.
No, I don't.
It doesn't have that wonderful old like 8mm film
Of
orange
course.
feel that
Right.
older slasher flicks are supposed to have, but it does have a lot of that blue light you hate so much.
I'll tell you what is awesome in this. Jason is like a pro archer.
Yes, he is a great shot.
He definitely shoots a dude.
It's like that's what he excelled at camp before drowning.
Right.
Yeah, he was.
He's
He,
definitely
nothing
not
else.
swimming. I'll say that much.
The other thing that the reboot reminded me of the first set of doomed characters. I watched this and I was thinking, this is the first time I've watched it since I watched Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I'm like, the people who made Tucker and Dale versus Evil watched this movie before they did this. Because I'm like, they're lining up. So
The
many of
same
the characters line up. I mean, not perfectly, but enough that you can see that they
And
took
you
that
got it, and you
encapsulated. They encapsulated that group of people where you've got the the girl with smoking and the heels are ridiculous and like the stoner and the it was like the guys from Tucker and Dale versus Evil did a great job of making that stereotypical group of doomed teenagers, but in a way that I was like, this scene reminds me a hell of a lot.
What I like about that opening there is pretty much he gets everyone.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there is the one survivor, but
You
he
don't
gets
act-
everyone.
You don't actually know she's the survivor
Until-
for most of the movie.
About half.
Well, about half, yeah. And yeah, I also
He's
like-
very
Isn't that
effective.
Halloween reboot?
Yes, remember we
Rob
watched
Zombie,
it.
It's terrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Have you seen? Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's definitely more Friday the 13th than Halloween.
Yeah.
Michael
It's-
Myers. It's Michael Myers. You learn Michael Myers' family superpower, which is just busting through walls.
Right.
Yeah.
His sister's got it too. Everybody just busts through walls in that movie.
And you learn his motivations and that he was crazy and he hung out with
Yeah.
Danny
Crazy
Trejo.
druidic magic
Yeah.
because he contains all.
You
the
should definitely
evil.
check out the Friday reboot, because it was the first of the big reboot Halloween movies.
I haven't seen that one either. I've seen the Halloween one because it was Rob Zombie, so
The Nightmare on Elm Street one's skippable. Friday the 13th one, though, was very good.
I kind of like the Nightmare one. It's okay.
It's Rorschach.
I know.
I
I
haven't
know.
seen the
The Nightmare reboot was infamously so bad that both
Last
Robert
one I
Englund
saw
and
was
Wes Craven
new.
said that they were glad their names weren't attached to it.
See,
The
and
last
I
one
guess
I saw was New Nightmare.
I didn't enjoy. I mean, I thought the Nightmare reboot was okay, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the other Nightmare movies because it was like Freddy was like
It's not Robert Englund.
mean.
Yeah, like, it's not
Which,
Robert Englund.
like, it's weird to say because the guy murders people for
he's
fun,
playful. He's charismatic.
but
and
he's
likable.
funny.
Like, I
when
mean, I
he
give
does
respect
that.
to the guy who played Freddy in the reboot because he didn't try to be Robert Englund.
No, he's a completely different
true.
character, but
I give him credit for that.
Yeah.
But
Out of the entire setup of like horror slasher villains, Jason, not that scary. You just know Jason's here, you're gonna die.
yeah,
Jason
he's
is
not that scary. But he's definitely the king of slash.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And-
Freddy terrifies me because your pain is going, or your death is going to be painful and it's going to be drawn out.
Basically,
Probably ironic.
Yes.
with Jason, as long as you keep your ass out of Crystal Lake, you're fine.
Or, no, not
Or
necessarily
maybe-
Crystal Lake. Do not present a threat to him, and also do not do an action he does not approve of.
But
Doesn't
he
always
doesn't
say
wander that far outside of his range, so you can have all the premarital sex you want as long
Outside
as
of
you're
Crystal
outside
Lake.
of Crystal Lake.
Have it in fucking Arizona. Go crazy.
However, if Jason has been removed from Crystal Lake and you're in his path and you're doing that, you're fucked.
Yeah,
You will
Jason's
just
got
murder
like
you on
a
Crystal
proximity.
Not
He's
even
like those.
necessarily true because there's the hippie in 4. She's like says Canada like in love and stuff.
That's
and they
true.
drive faster and like the back of her sign says "fuck you."
Right.
But she's sitting there eating a banana and then Jason just shows up and kills her
He does stab
because
him in
she's
the back.
there.
Yeah.
But there are some moments where they show where if you're at least polite and kind to him, he'll slow down and think about it before he kills you.
Jason's like those like
Because I'm sorry.
enemies in like video games that have a proximity radius, and as long as you can just skirt around the edge of his proximity radius, you're fine.
Yeah.
But you trip it, and then you're like, shit, you're gonna kite this motherfucker.
You just aggroed the boss. He's going to kill you now.
Yeah, I can kite this motherfucker back.
You
to
know,
Orgrimmar.
I think
He's
they're not
following
letting me the
the whole
money.
way.
I'm gonna buy that this week.
Ogremar, he's going
The
to
new
follow you
one.
all the way to
New
Gadget's
Friday the
and
13th
following
game.
it.
Oh yeah,
Do
yeah.
you all think he would have killed that little girl?
I don't think so.
No.
It's a hard
No, he doesn't.
rule.
Jason doesn't
not
kill children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
He
he had
identifies-
Except for Tommy.
he had
Look at
plenty
him,
of
right in her
opportunity.
face. You know, he's pretty
He
menacing.
identifies with children.
Yeah.
There's
Because,
only
like,
one
he
kid
died
that
as
he
a
wants
child.
to kill.
Okay.
And that
I don't
was
have a
Tommy?
lot of familiarity
Yes.
with this like I've seen
In-
probably the first one, then 6 and 10, and I think
In
that's it.
6, he
In
has the
Manhattan.
golden opportunity to kill a cabin
So-
full of kids,
Yep.
and he doesn't.
Yeah,
He will
that's
fuck
what
up
I was
Tommy.
wondering. Is he,
The fuck
he-
up Tommy.
Oh, yeah,
Because Tommy
Tommy.
came after him.
That's
If he
true.
won-
Tommy is the reason there's the slash in the mask. 'cause Tom,
No, that's from part 3.
Okay.
She hits him in the head with an axe. That's where the slash.
I thought that was the machete mark.
No, it's an
But
axe.
they're all
He
trying
does
to
get hit
protect the
in
kids,
part
which is
4.
like that's why I
Right.
wondered. It's like
But no, he wouldn't kill kids, and he won't kick the dog in Manhattan.
Right.
Doesn't he kill the dog in 4 though? Because I got really upset about that.
No, I don't remember that. I watched 4 yesterday. I don't remember.
The only thing that
Is there a
bothers
dog
me.
in 4? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
is that the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, there's
Was
a.
I just worried the whole movie
The
about
remake,
dog
he
for
kills
no
the
reason?
dog, but the remake's different.
He doesn't kill a dog in the remake.
And the remake, the second part of it.
No, I literally watched it today. He doesn't kill a dog.
Because I know there's a remake too.
Yeah.
No,
The
there's
dog
not.
in
It's in
4.
development hell.
The dog in
okay.
4 jumps out a fucking window for some crazy reason, so he might have died or not.
Oh, that's right. I just
Yeah.
got worried about the dog for the whole movie for no
Right.
reason.
There's one thing that bothers me about Part 4 compared to any other movie is it has a death off camera. Jason kills Tommy's mom off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the
super
only death
disorienting.
off camera.
Yeah, no, and I mean that every other kill he gets on screen, even if you don't.
No,
actually
there's
see it.
another one. There's
Is
one
there?
in 6. There's an off-screen kill in 6.
Is there? Who's the kill off screen in 6?
I can't remember who because I can't remember bothered with their name.
The
But, like,
one girl in the cabin,
Yeah,
where
he
it
shows-
just cuts
the,
out to the
the
cabin.
sheriff
he's
shows
murdering.
up or someone to the cabin,
right.
and the cabin is just covered.
That's
Right.
because when he started
Oh, no,
killing
no,
her,
like,
it's
what the hell did he do?
But then
over
he
here?
did throw her through the window.
Yeah.
No, different girl, different girl.
No, that's the same girl.
No, because
No, it's the one where she's the last one alive. She just helped the little blonde girl. She goes back to her cabin. She's waiting for Sissy to come back. And the wind blows the door open. And she
Yeah.
goes over and
Yeah.
she's all, oh, okay, it's just the
And
wind
then
now."
Jason gets
And then
her
Jason slams her
And
with the
throws
door,
her through the window.
walks
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
and then the door closes and it cuts to the outside where you're screaming and lights
you
flash
see
on.
blood splattering on
Blood
windows.
splatters on-
And then right
Jason
afterwards-
throws her dead, lifeless body through the window, but she does die off screen.
The thing is, you never see the mom though.
They could have fucked up the special effect for it. They might
You
have had
wonder-
the
I
extra
wonder if they
credit.
probably
And
would.
they couldn't, and then this
This film was-
That is true. I definitely remember seeing like all kinds of like footage, like basically a video about the increase in censorship in these movies,
Yeah.
and how on a lot of the original release DVDs they have the uncut kill scenes, and like they're not bad.
Right.
But the censor board at the time was like, you have to censor this. This
Because it was
is
Hays
too
Code.
graphic. This is ridiculous.
I mean, it was Pace Code before that, though.
Yeah.
So
But
you
they
have a
kept
lot of
pushing it and
that
eventually got
as the
This,
franchise goes on.
This franchise as a whole is notorious for censorship throughout the process, prompting actually several rewrites, which in turn lead to some of Jason's more identifiable behaviors because of censorship, essentially.
like not killing kids.
No, that
No,
goes back
that-
to his character.
A lot of that goes back to the character, and also like a lot of people who portray Jason would influence things like that into the script writing. Like Kane Hodder refused to kill the dog. The dog was supposed to die in Jason Takes Manhattan. It was written that he would kill the dog, and Kane Hodder was like, I would think Jason would kill a dog. I ain't pantomiming killing a dog on screen as Jason Voorhees. Rewrite it, and
I
they're
mean,
like,
there's
well,
no-
okay.
I mean, the not killing kids. There's a characterization thing I can get. The not killing a dog.
Well, when
Like,
you
there's no. I mean, other than it's like that child.
I mean, it was
nature.
basically-
I know
it's
several
basically like,
developmentally
I don't
disabled
think
people that
Jason-
are really terrified of dogs.
At the end of the day, what it gets down to is Jason's character, aside from being a homicidal maniac, is an innocent.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah, and that's why.
He's an innocent, just tends to
That's-
view murder as a
yeah.
completely acceptable thing.
That's why he doesn't need to kick the dog or kill the dog moment.
Yeah.
So as we finish up here, does everyone want to just say what their favorite Jason movie is?
I was going to go a slightly different route.
Okay.
I was going to ask everybody's last thoughts on this or these two movies, but also I'm curious across the whole franchise, what's everybody's favorite kill?
Okay.
Oh, I already know
Go ahead.
There's so many.
it. Number 5, the guy that gets the pile driver through the portable toilet.
That's a terrible place to die.
That's it. That's
No,
why
it's a shitty place to die.
I wasn't going with the obvious pun
I'm
because
sorry.
I have
I'm
dignity.
sorry, that was crap.
Because I have dignity. Dude.
Almost scheiße.
My personal favorite actually comes from Jason Goes to Hell. It's where he drowns the girl in the deep fryer. Yeah, I was because I was working in a fast food joint at the time. And I was
It's a little meta.
it's like I dreamed of doing that to so many customers.
And coworkers.
Not so much.
Shit.
Nah, she was annoying, but I didn't want to kill her.
Should never fit in either.
I mean,
That too.
for me, it's the sleeping bags. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. I mean, it's the last Jason murder of the franchise, more or less, because before you get to the reboot, it's before
Freddy
vs. Jason, which barely counts. But it really just epitomizes the ridiculousness of the genre at that point, where he's killing a camper with another camper. I mean,
Yeah.
that sums it up right there. Like, where do you go from there?
There's nowhere to go from there.
Exactly.
And space station.
And realistic, no, like that's the it. That's it.
That's the
After
last
that,
one.
he doesn't kill anyone else in the movie. That's the last kill of the movie, and it's the last movie in the franchise. That's the ending, though. Right there, killing a motherfucker with a motherfucker. That's it. Okay, end scene. End credits.
serious.
End series. Like, that's it.
Jason has topped himself.
My favorite one is the same one as Ryan's, the killing a camper with a camper. But in the interest of dividing it and the fact that Adrian and I agree on this, since technically that's not a kill because they're not real, Adrian and I both agree that Nitrogen Head freezing her face and then having it smash into those beautiful slow motion pieces. That's visually, that's some pretty. It's not the bloodiest, but man, it's one of the more creative.
It's good cinematography, right?
And some beautiful cinematography and some nice sounds.
I do want to give a quick shout out then, if we're gonna go with the whole it's not really a kill thing. In Manhattan, where he punches the dude's head off.
That's-
And it
yeah.
rolls down into the dumpster and the dumpster shuts on it.
Yeah.
It's just too cool.
Also, if we're gonna go with that, then for the same movie, even though it's not a kill, the machete chopping the guy's arm off, even when Jason's dead, you will still
He's
fuck
still
you
deadly.
up by existing.
If he's in the room, somebody's got their fucking arm.
Yeah, someone's
My
fucking.
favorite death so far, I have to mirror Heidi's statement, was when the girl died via her own guitar in Takes Manhattan. I mean, because it was just so unoriginal, like Jason, because usually it's with either a sharp instrument or his own bare hands, but just for some reason, and because she was playing the guitar down in the ship, he's just like, no.
He
And that was
probably
it.
found her annoying. It's like,
That's the
Probably.
only appropriate response to an
Probably.
acoustic guitar. It really is the only appropriate response.
She had an unplugged-in electric guitar, but it was
Haven't
still.
learned how to play an archipelago.
I mean, honestly, she deserved her death. She's running around playing unplugged in electric guitar.
It's horrible. Okay, well, that was mine. Yeah.
Way to steal her thunder.
Yeah, my favorite death and my least favorite movie. I think second favorite I would have to second be Nitrogen.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. It was just like, it was surprising because I was like, why the fuck are you guys with
Nitrogen
nitrogen in the sink? You know, like what if that spaceship like hit something? You know, and you got like nitrogen all over you.
What happens if the gravity gives out?
And you gotta like, yeah,
There's a
exactly.
million reasons I can think of why you wouldn't want to do that, but she was doing that.
Except for, the
In
only
the
purpose
future.
is for Jason to show her face in it,
Yeah.
so she shatters like a,
Yeah.
you know.
So for that
Which
reason,
I thought was a nice homage with the exact opposite effect of deep frying a woman's face.
I haven't seen that whole one, so.
You're better off.
It's not a clean
It's
death.
pretty good,
It's
but
not a good movie.
He just go a worm or something.
Yeah, that's when Jason becomes
That's
a
the rape worm one.
I really like. It's super gimmicky in 3 because 3 is like technically in 3D.
3D.
When he squeezes the guy's head so hard that his eyeballs shoot
Pop
up
up towards the camera.
Yeah, because I love my gimmicky, stupid, crazy 3D, and that movie's just like full of it, you know.
It really is.
So
Like I remember I watched that movie on DVD,
right,
going, "This is supposed to be 3D, isn't it?"
right.
Like this is a 3D movie from the 80s where they do all the gimmicky crap.
The DVD I have it has a
Just
3D
the 80s,
version.
they still
of
do
it
I
if you
don't
have
know
glasses.
if that one, if the one you have does.
It doesn't come with the glasses. So. And let me. I can't pull it here. My favorite kill. It's a tie between the guy in the wheelchair, just because it's the ridiculousness, and actually part 6 where he takes 3 heads off in one swat.
Triple kill.
Triple kill.
One that no one brought up. The remake, when the guy's running away, he actually manages to outrun Jason. So Jason just takes the axe that he's been wielding,
Isn't
throws
there-
it and just catches him right in the back of the spinal column.
Someone who's seen 3 recently, isn't there a shot of Jason throwing an axe at the camera?
Throws a knife.
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought it was an axe because when I watched that particular scene, I thought that kill was supposed to be a deliberate homage to 3.
Yeah.
No worries, it's the knife in 3
'Cause he does-
in the remake,
he
it's
throws
the
it.
axe, and he catches the guy like right in between the shoulder blades, so he's paralyzed.
Jason throwing knives is a thing. It's in most of the movies.
I mean, Jason apparently excelled at throwing knives in archery at camp before.
Any skill that involves killing, he is a savant.
Why did nobody teach that boy how to swim? We could have avoided it. If it didn't
That's what we have lifeguards for. Advocate responsibility.
Only thing is, the
Swim
lifeguards
lessons.
were too busy screwing, so
Right.
So if someone had swim lessons, could have avoided the whole damn
someone did
thing.
their job.
So, that was us doing Friday the 13th again for this year on Saturday the 14th. Hope you enjoyed.
Which is an awesome movie in its own right.
We're gonna have to look into that sometime. Next time Saturday 14th rolls around, I guess. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
Always been singing.